Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show we are going to have Darrel. Darrel is from London in the UK. So let's see what Darrel has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Darrel, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
No worries at all. Thanks for asking me.
So tell me, how's your warm day going so far?
Well, yeah, very, very hot. I've just managed to keep in solid form, but I've almost become liquid. I literally nipped out earlier just to do some shopping, which is just down the road. And I come back and it was, yeah, I was like drenched from taking like a 10, 20 minute walk. It was crazy.
Tell me where you're from, Darrel.
Well, I'm from, well, at the moment, I'm living in Sutton, London, but originally from Romford, East London slash Essex. It's sort of like on the cusp. They can't quite make their mind up. There's arguments of whether it's East London or whether it's Essex.
I see. And that's the place where you're born and raised?
Yeah, so born and raised in Romford and then moved to Sutton in the last like year. I've lived in Sutton before, but now this is sort of our permanent base.
I see. By the way, I'm saying your name right, Darrel, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people say it. Some people said Darrell. A lot of people say Daniel, Darren. I get all sorts.
Darrel, so tell me so far, what has been the highlight of your week?
Oh, highlight of the week. Oh, actually, easy one. I went to Amsterdam. So I spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday in Amsterdam. So far, that's been the highlight of my week and my month so far. It was a nice getaway. Me and my mates went away together. We haven't been away abroad together since we were in our early 20s. So it was good to do that again.
That's amazing. And the weather was hot as well over there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, funny enough, the first day we arrived, there was a lot of sun, and then suddenly there was like a freak thunderstorm. It started to rain like really heavy, and there was electric lightning in the sky, and it absolutely tipped it down. And I thought, wow, we've brought the British weather with us. I felt like we was cursed. I thought, yeah, great, here you go, Amsterdam. There's a bit of the UK for you. But then thankfully, the next couple of days was just clear blue skies and sun. So I guess that I've been acclimatized to coming back here to this heat.
Yeah, we had a storm as well. I think was not yesterday, the day before. I think on Monday morning it was so like literally thunderstorm. You could see, everywhere. It was very heavy, very early morning.
Where are you based? Where was that?
In London, I'm
In
based in London.
London.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And what do you do for work for living there?
Ah, well, so a bit of everything really. So actor, writer, teacher. I used to teach in mainstream education, so I've taught primary, secondary, college, drama school, and I also work in events as like a brand ambassador, sort of in between the sort of teaching and acting. When there's a quiet period, I do a lot of events and like promo work.
Amazing. And right, Darrel, I always ask my guests on the show, the beginning of the interview, to bring something that means a lot to them. So that could be a gift, an object, a picture. Is there anything you can share?
Yeah, well, I've got this. So this is an old clock, very, very old clock. It no longer works even when you put a battery in it. And this belonged to my father. And I kind of kept this to remind me of the importance of time. As sort of corny as it sounds, I look at this and remember that actually the most valuable thing in life, sometimes it isn't money, it isn't material objects, even though this is material objects. It is obviously the time that we spend with each other and on this earth. And I think some people, they're so caught up in the rat race of life, particularly in London, as you know, that people don't really stop and just actually, yeah, utilize their time and kind of really appreciate the time they have. Because you can get money back, you can get possessions back, but you can't get time back and who you spend it with.
Totally. I get it. Amazing. Wow, very good. And how old are you when you got this clock from your dad?
Uh, well, I went like early 20s, like I got
Okay,
this. Yeah, in my early 20s. I'm now like 36. So
I
feels like
see.
a lifetime ago.
Amazing. Darrel, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to Ilian and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Right, before starting the interview, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can take another one, okay? Amazing. First question is, who has been the most influential person in your life?
Oh, wow. That's straight away, Bosh, hit you on that. Okay, most influential person in my life. Wow. Do you know what? It probably would. Do you know, it'd have to be either my mother or my wife. Simply because, so my mother was, for the most part, a single parent. So she had to kind of do both the job of a mother and a father. And I've always believed that a lot of people, I think it takes a strong woman to raise a strong man. And that's exactly what she did, you know. She worked her ass off, you know, and gave me the best upbringing I could have had with very little. You know what I mean? We wasn't given the most fortunate of circumstances or environment. I think she did a really good job and sacrificed a lot. So I'd say her in terms of determination and sort of instilling certain things in me. And I think my wife in terms of her constant positivity and outlook on life. You know what I mean? We balance each other really well. Not like I'm negative, but I feel like she is definitely the yin to my yang, if that makes sense.
Wow. And how did your paths cross for the very first time, if you can share, you and your wife?
So because we're both writers, and we were having some of our work showcased at a theatre night at the old Red Lion Theatre. And yeah, we just met sort of before the show, got talking. My wife was trying to plug her one woman show. And I gave me one of her flyers. So we started chatting and we ended up sitting next to each other in the theatre. And I remember we both were suffering very heavily from hay fever. So we kept sniffing and things like that. And I was like, do you have hay fever? She was like, yeah. Because I was like, I wasn't sure if he was just getting emotional because of the play or if it was hay fever. There was hay fever. So it kind of naturally built from there, really, from that chance encounter, which I'm sort of glad we had, you know, that we sort of met each other naturally. And I suppose the rest is history, as they say.
Wow. Okay, so your mom and your wife, both of them, they're watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send them a message. What would you say they're watching?
I'd say thank you for always being there, being understanding and empathetic.
Wow. And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your mom?
Most meaningful lesson I've learned from my mom. I think it is just to keep going. Like, even if, just keep, no matter what, just keep going. Because like I say, she's had a lot of adversity. And yet, she's one of the strongest people I know. So just keep going, no matter what.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it. All right, Darrel. Next question for you is, if you could read minds for a day, and if you could choose one person, just one person, who that would be and why to read their minds?
Oh, hey, one person to read their minds. So obviously it's got to be, does it have to be someone I know, or can it be anyone?
Anyone.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Just for any reason, just to see the way they think, the way they react, or the way they approach life, maybe for curiosity or for something interesting, could be anyone.
Okay. Trying to think now of who, if I had that, that's a good question. Whose mind would I read? I'm trying to think of someone I admire that I'd love to get inside their head to sort of work out how they do things. Or equally someone that I don't like so then I
Yeah,
can work out their secrets and bring them down. Do you
totally.
know
For
what?
any reason.
Let's go for Trump. So that way I could infiltrate him, learn all his secrets, and then dethrone him. And then America could be free.
I love your answer. Wow, that's great. Good one.
I was gonna say either Trump or Mark Zuckerberg. And maybe like so to yeah, I reckon.
Wow. What's the biggest joy of being Darrel? What do you like the most about being you?
What I like the most about being me. Um, I think my ability to adapt and accept things. And a prime example is so when I was younger, I used to imagine all of life's possibilities and what my life would look like. And it's obviously far distant from this. But the one thing I never imagined is that I'd go bald. Right now, if you showed a picture of me now to my younger self, I think they'd be horrified because I was a typical Essex boy. I had like a tan. I know exactly. It's hard to imagine, but if you saw a picture of me when I was younger versus now, you'd think it's two different people. I had the Essex quiff, everything. Um, so yeah, the worst thing I could have possibly imagined when I was younger was losing my hair. But actually, I've just learned to embrace it, adapt, and now I love being a bald man. So I'd say the thing I like most about myself is, yeah, the ability just to adapt and just roll with the punches.
And if you could meet your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
I would probably tell them, actually going back to the clock, this going back to the clock, I would tell them, don't worry so much about the future. Don't
Mhm.
fret. Don't overanalyze. Just actually enjoy. It's really stereotypical cliche, but just enjoy this moment
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're only going to be 13 or 14 once. Um, so yeah, appreciate this stage of your life more.
Wow. And what would be the title of your memoir one day?
Um, you know what? I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it All Bangers No Mash. Only because I've always wanted to, if I was a rapper, I would call my rap album All Bangers No Mash. But since that I'm not musically talented at all, I can only really utilize that title if I'm going to write an autobiography. So yeah, All Bangers No Mash.
I like that. Interesting. And when people they read your memoir, what's something that would you like people to take with them?
Um, Hopefully, I'd like to make them laugh. I hope when
Yeah.
they read it, they feel more uplifted. I'd like to make them feel more secure about themselves.
Yeah.
I know we've all had moments in our life where we're like, oh God, we've done things, and we're like, but I'd like to make them feel more secure about the insecure moments of their
Wow.
life and actually find some sort of mutual kind of laughter. Because I think, you know what? Some people they take themselves too seriously. I think a lot of people take life too seriously. But actually, if you just sit back and actually, yeah, I think we could afford to laugh at ourselves and each other a bit more in a healthy way.
Totally amazing. Next question. Let's do it.
I'm gonna do it with you. I don't know. I can't hear the music, but I'm gonna imagine it.
Yes, you can dance with me always. Right. So before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a writer? What do you like the most about it?
Um, I think I get to create what I can't see, or I get to create like alternative universe or worlds. Um, I know I like the hyperfixation I
Mhm.
get from writing. It could be healthy and not healthy, it all depends. But I can literally, if I'm really into an idea, I can be sat at my laptop for like 8, 10 hours straight, like really invested and really focused. And because
Wow.
I have ADHD, it's very hard sometimes for me to focus for that length of time. But when I'm really invested in a piece of work, it's actually perhaps one of the few times where I'm actually still and just completely just, my brain's not here, there, and everywhere. It's just concentrated on this
Wow.
one thing.
Wow.
And I love the feeling I get when I finish something. When I finish the work, it's like even if it goes nowhere, the fact is I've done it. I set out to do something and I've completed it. Which is a great feeling.
Wow. And I was watching some of your sketches on TikTok, on Instagram. And what's the inspiration for you to create those sketches?
Basically, okay, right. So what it is, because obviously, like being an actor,
Yeah.
you're rarely given many opportunities to do what you love. Yeah, because it's out of your hands, you know. Casting directors ultimately choose who's seen, who's not seen. But the way I'm approaching social media now is that I'm going to make myself seen. I'm going to put out my own content. I'm going to create my own work, which I've always done as a writer anyway, as a writer, as an independent theatre producer, film producer. But I was like, no, do you know what? It comes back to what I was saying as well. There's so many people in, I think, the arts and acting industry who I think sometimes take themselves in it so seriously that it's a bit of escapism. You know, a lot of the stuff I put out, it's silly, it's stupid. I have like some of my videos have done well. It's like I've been lucky enough, like some of them have had like 2 million views, a million, half a mil, and some of
Wow.
them have, you know, are in the tens of thousands that are trending. So some have been successful. The majority, though, just fall dead in the water. But it's cool because at the end of the day, I'm also just doing it for me. I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Next question is, what's the strangest way you met one of your best friends?
Was the strangest ways I met one of my best friends.
Yeah, that you met. One of the strangest way you met one of your best friends.
Strangest ways. Trying to think of one. Okay. So, well, well, they're not my friend anymore. But the strangest way that I met a friend um, was actually it was first day of enrollment at college, and I remember being sat opposite some boy on the bus, and I kept looking over at him, thinking, I wonder if he's going to the same college as me. I wonder. We were set completely different. I wonder, is he going? We didn't speak to each other though. But then when we got to college, we both looked at each other and was like, you were that guy I was sat next to opposite the bus. And it turns out he was thinking the same thing as me. He was thinking, I wonder if he's going to the same place. But
Oh
funny
my
enough,
God.
neither of us ever said anything in that moment. And that was quite funny because we were both thinking the same thing. Yet
Wow.
even neither of us decided to talk to each other until we were actually, you know, saw each other later on. So that was quite coincidental.
Wow. And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
Uh, what's the meaning of life? That's always such a deep question, isn't it? The meaning of life. Um, I think the meaning of life is probably what you make it, what you make of it. So for me, the meaning of life to me would be literally, I think to enjoy yourself, to hopefully put something good back into the world.
Uh-huh.
So to do something, to leave something behind, to have some sort of impact. Like if you think of it as a kind of a good carbon footprint, so a positive carbon footprint, I'd like to leave a positive carbon footprint.
Wow. Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing?
Do I like dancing? I'm not very good at it, but I do it satirically. You know, like, but not. If I go to a club or if I'm in the mood with good music, then yeah. Um, but I'm not a good dancer. I remember once many years ago, I was doing a musical, and it was actually on the London. We went to the London Palladium with it, and I remember I almost fell over on the London Palladium stage in front of thousands of people, trying to dance in this choreography. But I sort of made it look like a kick jump, so I styled it out. But yeah, no, I haven't danced since that moment.
Right. All right. Next question for you is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Favorite thing to do as a kid. You know what? Probably as a kid, watch wrestling and then recreate iconic matches. Like I remember when I was younger being up on a ladder and going through an ironing board and just like we used to throw each other around and yeah, like recreating wrestling matches like with my mates. Yeah, I just feel like the sense of yeah, like being into wrestling as a child, however
Oh,
unpopular, uncool like it was, there was this such sense of sort of, I don't know, joy, like being really invested in basically the equivalent of sports EastEnders. That's basically what it is. It's EastEnders, but the sports version. And the thing is, watching wrestling now as an adult, I hate to say it, it just doesn't have the same sort of, do you know what I mean? It doesn't grip me as much as it used to. But there's
Right.
nothing more I used to love than like going down to the video shop back when we had video shops where you could rent videos. And I renting some wrestling like videos and watching them with my mates, and then acting like idiots afterwards. Hitting each other with chairs. Well, not really, but pretending to kill over the chair. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh, sweet. Amazing. 2 questions left. Let's do it. I'm from Brazil, so in my blood, dance is my blood.
That's it. It comes naturally to you. That's the thing.
Come naturally. Before the
Me,
next,
I look weird.
I think dancing, there are no rules. Dancing is just for you to close your eyes, pretend nobody's watching, and just move yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Unfortunately, though, I like now. Well, since going bald and being at my age, I now have the aesthetic of just the sad dad at the party or uncle. Do you know what I mean? That's trying to be like kind of hip and cool, but is embarrassing everyone. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my zone of dancing.
You see, you can dance. I can see you have some moves. You see, you just being modest. Before the next question, let's do a little game. So let's pretend that you've got in your hands the biggest budget. So for you, money is not a problem. You're gonna put together a play or a short movie, a scene. You're gonna be on it as well, and you can cast anyone in the world to play your mom. Also, you can cast any other to play your dad. At the same time, you can cast anyone to play your love interest, a romantic partner, and the big boss to help you to put all together, a producer or a director. So tell me those names.
So who would play you? So who would play me? Who would play my mother? Who would play my father?
You play yourself, but
I'll play myself.
Your mom, your dad, romantic love, and a producer or a director. 4 names.
Okay. So my dad, funny enough, I said this recently. The older Sacha Baron Cohen gets, the more he looks like my dad. Like honestly, like he has the same nose as my dad and the same eyebrows. So either Sacha Baron Cohen, or this is a massive leap, or Al Pacino.
No, you choose just one. Just one you should choose. Just one.
Let's go. Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm gonna go for Sacha Baron Cohen. Only because he's got more. He's got a British accent. My dad was an Italian, so we'll go for Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay.
My mother. I'm just gonna sound really harsh. My mother, maybe Danny DeVito in a wig, because my mother's the same height as Danny DeVito. My mother is tiny. She's little. Well, she's in a wheelchair now.
By the way, they don't need to look like Dan. It's just someone that would like to work with Dan one day. You know what I mean?
Okay. Danny, I'm going to still stick to Danny DeVito then.
That's amazing.
I'd love to see Danny DeVito in a blonde wig playing my mother. That'd be hilarious.
I love it. Why not?
And also, he kind of had her mannerisms, sort of. Hopefully, she never sees this. She could be annoyed, like I said, Danny DeVito and not someone else, like Meryl Streep or something.
Romantic love interest.
Probably. What's the name? Only because everyone's compared my wife to basically Carrie Mulligan. People have said that my wife looks like Carrie Mulligan, so we go for Carrie Mulligan.
You know what? I met her one day. I was working a 5-star hotel, and she came to promote, I think it was the BAFTAs or something. And I believe she won the BAFTAs for Best Actress. I don't remember. And I was working night shift, and she came, you know what I mean, with her team and everything, celebrating. And yes, I remember her. Carrie Mulligan. She's really good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was all right. She was nice.
Yeah. And the big boss, the director, help you to put all together. Who that would be?
It's got to be Martin Scorsese. But I'm now thinking Martin Scorsese directing Danny DeVito. That's a film in itself. You know, and Sacha Baron Cohen. But yeah, Martin Scorsese for me.
Amazing. So now the second part of the question is going to be a bit tougher now. One day, you're going to wake up in the morning with 4 missed calls on your phone from those 4 names just mentioned right now. You just can call back one straight away. The other one, you're gonna send a message. I call you back later, and the other two, you ignore them for now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ring Martin Scorsese because obviously he's the person that controls everything, and he's the person that you don't want to leave hanging around. That's for
Good
sure.
one. Good
Yeah.
point.
And then I'm going to text Danny. Um, he probably won't reply anyway. I'll send him. Actually, no, I'll send him a GIF. I'll just send him some sort of message. But yeah, like to be fair, if I just rang Martin, Martin would sort it all out. I'd be like, Martin, mate, could you get in touch with the other guys? He'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever, anything for you. My favorite slaphead. So yeah, that's what I would do.
And you're gonna call him mate over the phone?
I assume by this point we've got a good working relationship,
And you've got a big budget in your hand as well, so you can call him anything. He's gonna get it. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
it. Money talks. That's it. I call him mate. I've got the money.
I love it. Next question is: do you have any pet peeves?
Pet peeves. Yes, couple kind. Yeah, kind of. What are my pet peeves? I probably do. The funny thing is whenever someone asks you a question, you immediately go blank. Even though you could have something in your head, as soon as you get asked a question, you go blank. But pet peeves, probably people. I think this is a general one. People who stand on the left-hand side of the escalator when London's busy, because
Oh
that
my god!
is annoying. All right, I get that some people are tourists; they're not aware. I understand that. Um, this is okay. This is going to be a controversial one. Okay, it's
Okay.
a bit controversial. One of my pet peeves is, and I can say this as a balding man, like people with either really bad comb overs or really bad like wigs. Because I kind of think like each to their own, but also like just embrace it or like yeah, for me. I'm just like just get rid of it, just shave it off, please. Like do everyone a favor and yourself because you'll probably look in the mirror and realize I actually look much better bald. But I've always wanted to for a laugh, always. I really wanted to. I might do it still just for the socials, but I want to get a really bad wig and wear it to work or wear it out to see who's polite enough to be like, Darrel, what's up? You didn't have any hair yesterday, now you've got a full head of hair. What's up? Just to see their reaction and whether they'll just be staring at it all day without saying anything. And I've also wanted to go to a cloakroom and check it in. I'd love to walk up to the cloakroom with a head of hair and then just whip it off and put it down on the counter and see if they put it up on a little coat hanger or something. What would they do in that situation?
Oh dear.
That's what I want to know.
Oh my god! I can see the person like on the counter.
Exactly.
Like, what's
What
that?
are they going to do? Are they going to deny it? Are they going to say, sorry, sir, we don't do that? Because I'm going to be like, well, that's baldest. That's baldest, like.
Wow. Okay. Last question. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. That's fun. There we go. You got some moves. There we go.
Well, I don't know what music you're listening to, so I could be on rhythm, I could be off rhythm. Who knows?
Don't worry. Don't worry. There are no rules. Remember? Last question is: what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
Okay, I think this is a really, really niche one, very specific. There's a place in Gideon Park, and this is free advertisement for them. Hopefully, they hook me up after this. There's a place in Gideon Park called Smoking Griddle. Now, Smoking Griddle do the best smash burgers I've had. Like hands down, Smoking Griddle it's the best burger. But they've only got one. There's the independent. So there's one in Gideon Park, and then for some reason there's one in I don't know Wales or whatever. They're just all over. Yeah. So I could honestly I think eat Smoking Griddle every day. It's that good. And there's a lot of feelings and nostalgia there for me. So yeah, I'd have to say I think Smoking Griddle.
And there's something that you don't like to eat at all?
Do you know what? I'm not a massive lover of fish. But I don't. I'm really British and common in the sense that if it's deep fried, I'll have it. But like, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of prawns, crab. I think it's more of the aesthetic of it.
Right.
I've never found fish appealing, but particularly prawns, because when you think about it, prawns are like the cockroach of the sea. When you think of it that way, the prawns are like the insects of the sea, and that's just a bit. You don't really know what's down there in the ocean. You know, people think it's fresh. Oh, fresh fish, fresh. But what is down there? We don't know. I think that sea and the ocean is a more scary place than space. I think there's probably more aliens down there than up there. So yeah, I'm not a massive lover of fish.
Do you like cooking?
Cooking, I'm very basic with my cooking ability. I've got to be honest with you, I'm the self-declared king of mince. If it's mincemeat, I can do a lot of it. Like today, actually, funny enough, I actually made my chili, and I make a banging chili, and I make a good shepherd's pie. So anything with mince is fine. Beyond mince, eh, like yeah, I don't have a good range to my cooking, to be honest with you. But I can get by. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't starve to death. I know how to put a Rustler's cheeseburger in the microwave, so it's fine.
Right, so then let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
One word for money.
Weld.
Fear.
Overcome.
Family.
Love.
Life.
Joy.
One word for love.
Grief.
Religion.
Not sure. That's not one word. Unknown.
Okay. Sex.
Gender.
Politics.
Religion.
Friendship.
Everything.
Desire.
Lust.
Regret.
Truth.
Success.
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 Need.
Happiness.
Everything. I think I said everything before.
It's okay. Wish.
Want.
One word for London.
Home.
One word for England.
Place.
One word for writing or for writer.
Career.
And the last one now, acting, one word.
Happiness.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee and I'm going to ask her, define Darrel in one positive and one negative word only. What should say about you?
Positive. I think she would say that I'm hardworking. Did you say one word?
It's okay, hard work. It's okay, hard work. It's okay, not a problem.
Hardworking, and then negative. What would be negative? I mean, I've got loads of negatives, so I'm trying to find one. I'm trying to find the right one. Hardworking, volatile.
And if that's the same question, what means volatile, by the way?
So kind of volatile means someone who's a bit all over the place.
I see.
So, for example, this is where we balance each other out because Laura is she's very diplomatic. Like she's very diplomatic, and sometimes I don't think before I speak. I can be volatile in that way. I'll say things or do silly things, but don't think about it before I do it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Good. You just made my day. I learned something new. Love it.
Yeah.
If I'll ask the same question to your lovely mom, will be the same answer?
I think my mum would say hardworking. Yeah, I think she would. I think her negative for me would probably be restless. Restless. Like I always have to be doing something. Yeah.
Let's play now Darrel and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
You are a good dancer, I can see.
Hands to it. Yeah.
You can ask me a question now, Darrel.
So this is quite a deep question. This is the question I've been asking a lot of people actually recently. Mm-hmm. So if the afterlife existed and you got up there, if the afterlife existed and you got up there and you met God or whatever entity it be in the afterlife, and they said to you, heaven exists, but what heaven is you get to relive one chapter from your life on loop. I mean, you won't know it's on loop, but the afterlife will be an eternity of either a month or one moment from your life or a chapter that's replayed. What chapter, month, or part of your life would you want to relive for eternity?
What a great question. Very creative. I love it. My God, I've done here over 1,000 questions. Nobody asked this question. That's amazing. Great question. Put me in the spot. I love being in the spot to answer questions. I love that. I think, wow, right. You know what? I love life. I love living life. And I'm just thinking about different aspects of my life
Mm.
that, it was challenge, it was great. It was, there's a lot of feelings. Right. Okay. You know what? The first thing that came to my mind, it was, let's say, the loop that since the match is going to be related to the show because that brings the best of me. When I start doing the show, when I start, actually, before I launched the show, for example, when I had the idea was around March 2020 when the world went upside down. And I started doing the interviews in June and I launched the show in October. So from June to October, I had like piled a lot, hundreds of interviews already before I launched the show. So I think that time for me, it was such a great time for me to learn, to come out of my comfort zone, to working on something that I was expressing myself, but I didn't know where it was going. So I think that doubt, that dreams, that feelings of doing something that you're enjoying it and you don't know what's gonna happen or how people's gonna take it, how people's gonna understand about the idea. I think that was very interesting for me because I was doing something without thinking how things would turn out. So I think I would love to be, living that, as you said, in a loop or for a month or for a period, because it was such a great, I still enjoy and I'm learning still every day. But now, of course, the show became, more visible. People, they know it. People, they have sources. They can go on Google. They can go on ChatGPT. They can put what is really the magic box and everything comes up there. But at the time, there was no website. There was no channel. I was literally, imagine, Darrel, you receive one day a message like exactly like I sent to you, and you go on my profile, you don't see anything there. You don't see like videos, you don't see. Imagine for you. So for me in the beginning was a big challenge because people, they were like, why do you want to interview me? Magic box questions, what's that? So that was such a great period as well because I need to explain, I need to, you know what I mean, to pass the message. So back to your question, I think I would go for that time because it made me learn. It made me understand more about people. I remember some people, they were literally swearing at me. There was one day, one guy, he literally sent a horrible message to me that I felt like so, but in a way, of course, it doesn't excuse his message, but putting myself in his shoes, it's not every day that someone invites you for a, could be a scam, could be, I understand. Of course, I wouldn't reply the way he did, but I was like, my
Yeah.
God, you know what I mean? So it was such a journey of learning and understanding a little bit about people before that I launched the show. So yeah, back to your question, I would leave again that time just for me to maybe to feel again the feelings, you know what I mean, for about challenging myself about people, their reaction, their reply. Some of them they're like, of course, let's do it. Why not? Without even without knowing a lot about the show. But some people they were a bit like confused or they were and understand, you know what I mean? So yeah,
I
I'll
remember. I actually remember. Do you know what? You may not realize this, but you actually reached out to me, like I think a couple of years ago. Funny enough, when
really.
you first, yeah. And I basically at the time I wasn't in a good headspace. I wasn't in a good place in my life. And I remember I wrote back saying, "Thank you ever so much for inviting me on the show," or something like that. But at the moment, I don't think it's for me. That was because of basically where I was at in life. But I remember you reached out a few years ago. I think it was via Facebook or something like. I was on one of the groups. It might have been Access UK. It might have been whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's amazing, actually, from there to now, I've seen the growth. I've seen how far you've come. And I think it's amazing the fact that, for example, you have had so many people say, no, I'm all right, or, horrible messages or whatever. and you haven't let it stump you. You've carried on. You've remained committed. And, it's clearly something you're passionate about and you love. Otherwise, you wouldn't remain committed. So
Totally.
actually, it is a joy to see that despite people saying no or not being positive about it, you yourself have gone, well, no, F you, that I'm going to do it because this is what I want to do. And clearly it's worked because clearly, you're putting videos out daily, you're speaking to new people, you're doing what you love regardless of what anyone thinks. So actually, I think you should be very proud. I admire you for that commitment and determination. But yeah, I remember, yeah. So I see where you've come from, like from there to now.
Thank you so much, Darrell. It means a lot to me for you to say that. Thanks so much. And I think, and I understand actually when those people they said no, I like automatically I thought, okay, it's part of the process. It's life talking to me. It's life testing me. It's life
Yeah.
seeing how I'm gonna deal with that. And again, I never took personal. I never took in a bad way. I just felt, okay, that's not for everyone. I get that. And I had situations where people they said no, and after a few while they because the thing is I talk to many people like to so many people every day that sometimes I don't even remember who I talked to
Yeah,
before.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
And some people they replied me back said, William, I would love to do this show. I said, yeah, of course, why not? And understand as you example fit, you're not in a good time of your life. And I understand that, you know what I mean? It's not right or wrong or and so yeah, that's I would love to go back to that point again. Sometimes when I think about it, I go like, my God, how amazing is for us to understand ourselves, how we challenge ourselves. It's great. It can be scary. It can be a bit, depending how you take it. But for
Yeah,
me, I
you
always
have to
took
have
it.
you have to have perseverance. It's like the acting industry or writing industry. The amount of no's you will get will ultimately outweigh the yeses, but the
Totally,
joy that comes from the yes eventually outweighs all of the no's that you've had previously.
totally. And you need those no's as well. It would be boring just yes, yes, yes. You need no's to challenge ourselves, to make
Mm.
us understand that's not, people, they have different views, different points. So I get it. Amazing. Great question. Amazing. Love it. Did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. Most of the time, I ask people that question, and they're like, wow. Some people are like, I don't know about that. That sounds like hell. A friend of mine said recently, that just sounds like hell. Like having to live the same thing over and over again. That's not heaven. And I was like, yeah, but it's a nice part of your life.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
how we see. And again, I love your question because they're not right or wrong. It's just your headspace. How you gonna see it? How you gonna approach it? It could be something negative, something positive. It's how you see it. Maybe in a 10 years time, I would answer it a different way or a
Yeah.
different period of my life. You know what I mean? But right now, genuinely came this memory. So yeah, amazing. Actually, before we go, Darrell, if you can share a positive message, a positive quote, or anything that you live by.
So that I always say this, not so well, I don't always say it, but whenever I get asked this, there's a quote that had stayed with me for a while now. There's a playwright called Vinay Patel. And
Okay.
I sort of interviewed Vinay. It was part of some sort of like in lockdown, we did some Zoom workshops and things like that. I spoke to him and he read my writing and he was really kind with his time and gave me some feedback and all that. And I spoke to him and we talked about contemporary theatre or contemporary art. And I've regurgitated this so many times, but he said something like, the issue of modern theatre or the issue of modern art is it asks, and it's tied to this interview actually, it asks the questions that we already know the answers to. So what it's trying to say is that a lot of theatre, a lot of work, it's kind of challenging things that we know are wrong. But the real question is, well, how do we change those things? It's not as simple. Do you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
obviously, you're asking questions that are completely random and they are challenging certain things. And I've had to now you put me on the spot and I've had to think about it, you know what I mean? Which is refreshing rather than I'm watching something and it's kind of hitting home the same thing. But yeah, we know this is an issue. But the real question is, well, what can we do to fix it?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I always take that forward as an artist, as a writer. I always try to, with my work as a writer, not be so polarizing and actually offer a genuinely like truthful, balanced exploration of something. And often in my work, there isn't like a clear protagonist, antagonist, because I do genuinely believe that every single person is both protagonist and antagonist. You know, we're good and we're bad. Everyone's a walking contradiction. I believe
Totally.
that everybody in life is a hypocrite, and the ones that say they're not often are the most hypocritical. So yeah, it made me think about writing and what I'm doing and how I'm challenging people. Am I actually challenging people, or am I just churning out, I suppose, carbon copies of certain things? So yeah, that quote really stuck with me.
Wow, amazing. Very good. Thanks again, Darrel. Regards to your mom, to your wife, and your family and friends. And keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure having you on the show, okay? Take
You
care.
too. Very much enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.